Our qualitative research is about student engagement in online learning. The structure of our presentation goes as follows. We're going to start with the overview and move to research questions, and then talk about a bit about the methodology and findings and recommendations of our research. Now, the problem we're going to talk about is about low student engagement in online educational models. The reason we chose this topic is not only because we can relate to it on an individual level, but it's also because about a report done by the Babson Survey Research Group that reveals that distance learning enrollments have increased for the 14th consecutive year in 2006. So our objectives would be to understand the causes of motivation loss for university students in the liquid learning model, and our goal would be to improve students' engagement, performance, and well-being in the model itself. Our research questions that we are going to work on are three. The first one is, what are the key causes of engagement loss experienced by university students in the liquid learning model? The second one talks about the pain points on the cognitive, social, and emotional levels in the liquid learning model. And the third one is about how can we improve the liquid learning experiences in a way to increase motivation and engagement in all learning models, such as the online, hybrid, and face-to-face. So in our methodology, we used semi-structured interviews, where we prefer this method because it gives space to the participants to talk freely and express themselves openly. We also made interviews with 12 participants, and we thought that this number represents the saturation point in any homogeneous groups. We also conducted 2 pilot interviews to test our scripts, and we used a convenience sample from IE students in this methodology. In our pilot interviews and participant interviews too, we made Zoom meetings over 2 days because of the tight schedule we had. And in each interview, we had 1 interviewer and 1 note taker at the same time. Each interview lasted for 20 to 40 minutes, and all of them were recorded. And we used the software which does automated transcription. It's called Sonix. And we also used thematic analysis and inductive coding to make up our code trees and themes.
After our thematic analysis, we came up with the 3 code trees, which we've also translated into this diagram. For question 1, which is about engagement loss, we identified 3 different themes as our major key points. This would be the class of type that the student is receiving, how the professor is managing both their class and the technology or tools used during the class, and finally, IE management. With this question 1, our main insight was that we could basically tackle professor management in order to increase student motivation in both asynchronous and synchronous class. For question number 2, we identified 3 themes, the first one being technology, the second one being about attendance style in social, emotional, and cognitive matters, and the third one being participation medium. This question 2 is about pain points, and here we realized that the main pain point students have been talking about is in social matters, as networking and other types of social interactions have been an issue with the liquid learning model. Participation medium has also been an issue because there are no clear instructions. In-class participation is complicated because some students are face-to-face, some students are online, but also there has been a problem with assignments and the overall program causing this pain point. The third question, which was about how could we tailor this program so that motivation increases for students, resulted in 3 main themes, which all of them focus on the different interactions with the program. So administration to professors, professors with students, but also students with administration. The main insight we noticed with question 3 was that through understanding the class management and that relationship between the administration and the professor, and then the professor and the students, we could develop a set of training that could teach both professors and students how to cope with this new model and better the engagement and motivation. We then translated all of these findings into these word maps you can see here, so that we can notice what were the key words being used, the keywords, where the most important one was social, as I've mentioned before. Then we developed 3 recommendations. Each of them are targeted to better the liquid learning model. So the first one is class management for professors should include more of real life examples and exercises to provoke thinking from students. This could also be supported by different type of techniques, for example, question locks in the videos so that students don't lose engagement and are not distracted. The second one is about training for professors, and this could also be training for students before the term starts. And this training should be done in technology, online oral skills, and the overall use of Blackboard. The third recommendation is about an open forum. We realized that feedback is one of the main issues happening now with the liquid learning model. So we want this to be as open as it could be, discussing different issues, suggestions, and complaints with all faculty and students. These recommendations were only to solve the questions mentioned before, but we've also developed one final proposal which we think could be a solution to the problems we have encountered. This would be the IE-YEP app, which you can see here. Here the students would have access to their schedule, classes, assignments, feedbacks, and forums, and of course that training day we've mentioned before, which would be very interesting to better the motivation of the program.